Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. It is March, my loves, and we are talking about the 4 ways to healing after toxic love, after narcissistic relationships. I'm so excited that you're here and wanting to learn how to heal from toxic love. If you don't know me, my name is Denise Kovaleskis, and I am here in Mia's Self-Love Revolution classroom. Honored to be here, honored to show up and give to you. Let me know where you are listening from. So just pop your name and where you're listening from. And I'll start with the chat. Hello, yay, Denise in NC. That's me. All right. So I support women and men in the healing process after narcissistic relationships, abusive relationships, toxic relationships. And we've all been in one, right? In one form or another. So today's topic is the 4 ways to heal from narcissistic relationships. Okay, so you may be wondering, who is this chick talking about narcissistic relationships and how to heal from them and how I can do this, right? How I can be in this form and helping you. Great question. So a little bit about me is that I am a transformational love coach specializing in helping women and men heal after toxic relationships. And so I've done this for myself, right? I was in a 22-year relationship filled with traumas and dramas and chaos. I was lied to. I was cheated on and abused emotionally, mentally, psychologically, financially, and sometimes physically. I tested positive for STDs in both of my pregnancies, and I survived years of his abuse, and now on the other side of that and thriving. And that's what I want for you too. To thrive after toxic love, after abusive relationships, and to find your true love and be happier now. So let's begin with the first steps that I had to take were, and this is the foundation of everything that I teach. And Mia's great at it. There's a lot of self-love coaches out there. It begins with learning to love yourself again. Okay, that is the first piece. You have to love yourself again. You have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror. Look into your eyes, which are the windows to your soul, and say, I love you. And mean it, right? And the other parts were I had to build my self-esteem back up and let go of the guilt and shame that was keeping me stuck. So since I left and healed from the past, I created a successful online business where I've taken my pain and turned it into my passion to help you and other women just like you get through, over, and thrive after toxic relationships. I married my best friend in June of 2020 on the most gorgeous North Carolina beach with 100 of our closest friends and family. And now, only having healthy relationships, I've even healed the relationship between my son and me. And that's a whole nother class that I could do. Having a successful relationship with the carbon copy of your ex, your adult child. I've written an Amazon #1 international bestseller and personally helping tons of women and counting heal from toxic love so that you can experience what true love feels like. My journey wasn't easy, but it was without a doubt worth it. I wouldn't trade it for a world, actually. And I want you to experience that feeling of healing. 2, I want you to experience what this feeling of healing is on the other side of toxic relationships. So the start of my journey was that I left that relationship, the 22-year relationship, and my entire family, and moved from South Florida to North Carolina so that I could start all over again, right? And I left everything behind in Florida, my son, my family, my friends, the only life that I had ever known, the only state that I had ever lived in. I was 42 at the time. I cried crossing over the North Carolina state line because I was leaving everything behind me. And it was hard to leave it all behind and start all over. But I knew it was going to be amazing on the other side. And that's actually one of my quotes. My famous quotes. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew it was better than the past. I wrote that in one of my books. And that's absolutely true. And that's one of the secrets to you creating the life that you desire, is for you to, let the past behind you, leave it behind you, and look to the future and just be open to what is waiting for you, and not put so many stipulations and not think like, I'm just going to repeat the past. So it's amazing. So yeah, I knew I had to do this for myself, and it wasn't easy. I'd be lying to you if I told you it was, but it was necessary for my own sanity and my emotional health to completely leave that situation. So what I've gained since starting my healing journey is an unbelievable feeling of love in all areas of my life. All the pain, hurt, abuse, confusion, uncertainty, lack of trust, and the lack of self-confidence and the lack of self-love are all gone. My clients receive this too. They receive things like a smooth divorce from her high confrontational husband. She got everything that she asked for in the divorce. She doubled her income. Another client manifested the top company that she wanted to work with. She said, I manifested more than what I was asking for. And another client, my favorite one to share with you, is she met the man of her dreams in the middle of a pandemic, and they are now house hunting as we speak. How amazing is that? It's truly incredible what is waiting for you on the other side of these toxic relationships. Okay, so you, my love, are in the right place if you are done with attracting toxic men in relationships and ready to experience new and healthy relationships. This is not for you if you're still blaming your circumstances on other people and do not want to solve this problem. So my mission is to show you that if I can come out of the other side from toxic relationships and a failed marriage, so can you. So let me ask you, are you ready to learn the exact steps that I did to overcome toxic relationships and have true love? Like, yes, in the chat. Yes, yes, I love it. Yes. Jennifer says yes. Michelle says yes. All right, awesome. I'm ready to show you. My promise to you is you'll get clarity today on the 4 ways to heal from narcissistic relationships and what you need to do next to stop the patterns and cycles so you can have your best friend, your soulmate, however you verbalize it, him, her. In return, I ask that you're fully present here so that you can gain the most value and information that will change your life. So be engaging, ask questions. That question that you may think is irrelevant or even stupid is the exact question that someone else was wanting to ask. So please ask, speak up. You can type it in the chat. Also, the other thing that I wanted to mention to you about the chat is that over to the right, where you type, on the upper right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. If you click those 3 dots, this is where you can, it automatically goes to, you're typing to everyone publicly and directly, but you can choose hosts only. if you only wanted to message me. And also, or if you wanted to message somebody else that's in the chat here with us. Also, if you go to the top, it says save chat. You can also save the chat. So if there's some information that you can't, copy and paste, or you're not writing it down, don't worry about it. You can save the chat. I just wanted to give that tip to you. Okay. So be here with us. You don't need to take notes right now. You will get the replay. And that is when I encourage you to take notes. So just be present here. Have your favorite drink next to you. Have your favorite candle lit, whatever the environment that you want around you. But you don't need to take notes, okay? And when you get the replay is when I encourage you to listen to it again, because that's also going to benefit you to hear this again, because how does the mind work? It works through repetition, to hear things over and over again. So you can listen to it again, and then that's when you can pause and write down what you need for your notes. All right, so just be present with us here tonight. You can also, take some breaths in and out to get grounded. So are you ready to be fully present? Are you ready to be fully present? And are you ready to heal from narcissistic relationships? Yes, give me a yes. Yes, yes, I love it. Yes. All right. Well, I'm ready to give it to you. So let's have lots of energy today, lots of engagement, because that's how we all benefit, right? We've all been through similar situations, and just having that support is transformational for you. Just knowing that you're in a place that is soft, secure, loving, supportive, that is transformational for you. So the more that you can be in these types of environments, the better it is for your healing journey. All right, I'm ready to show you. Here we go. All right, so during this class, you're going to learn the 4 ways to heal from narcissistic relationships, how to build your confidence to trust and love yourself so that you never experience a painful relationship again, and what it feels like to let go of the past so that you can create your ideal future and start to manifest your dreams quicker than ever. I know, right? It's exciting. So who's ready to release the old toxic past and feel lighter? Because did you know that the stuff that we hold on to from the past, it has a weight to it, an energetic weight to it, and it will make you sluggish. It will hold you back. It'll hold you, keep you in a stuck feeling, make you feel really heavy, really heavy. And you don't want that heavy feeling inside of you. You don't want that. That's not going to help you at all. That's actually when people feel like when they say I feel stuck, that is that feeling, that energy of not being able to move forward because they feel that heaviness from the past. So it's really important for you to let go and release the old toxic past so that you can feel lighter now. And once you start to feel lighter, oh my gosh, it is amazing. The energy you have, the lightness you feel, the things that you do, and so much more. So let's begin, shall we? All right. So let's start with the 4 ways to heal from narcissistic relationships. So 3 of the healing ways came from our great masters. I wish I could take credit for this, but it's honestly not me. It's our great masters that taught us this, right? So our great masters like Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna, masters like that, they all gave us this solution 2,000 years ago. Forgiveness. But before my forgiveness story begins here, before I could share my story with no charge to it, I first had to forgive. I had to forgive my ex, and I had to forgive me. Letting go of the grudges and bitterness can make way for happiness, health, and peace. healthier relationships, greater spiritual and psychological well-being, less anxiety, stress, and hostility. Buddha once said, holding on to anger is like grasping a coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. So number one, forgiveness. And let me just run through the 5 benefits of forgiveness that you may not have known about. So forgiveness lowers your stress level. Forgiveness is lower amounts of cortisol, okay? Forgiveness keeps your heart healthy. Did you know that? Forgiveness is good for your heart, literally. Forgiveness lowers pain. Having a forgiving heart may lower both emotional and physical pain. Forgiveness lowers blood pressure. Letting go of that anger that you've been harboring might lower your blood pressure. And with all of that, it's kind of like common sense. It's kind of a given that forgiveness extends your life. Your grudges might be shaving years off of your life. So forgive and you'll live. How awesome is that, right? Who knew any of that? Because I didn't before I started this journey of healing. I didn't know any of those benefits that forgiveness gives to you. I know, it's incredible. Okay, so true forgiveness is easier said than done. I understand this. And I understand that there's a misconception around forgiveness. And that's why I always thread forgiveness through all of my talks, because people think, and I've had even my clients say to me, well, Denise, if I forgive him, they think they have to let that person back in their life. And that's not what forgiveness is. So I acknowledge and I know that it can be difficult, especially if someone truly upset you in a way that contradicted your values and morals. However, it's important to remember that holding on to the grudge is not going to fix anything. That hot coal you're holding on to is just burning you. So let go of the coal and you will feel the lift of the mental burdens. So you may also notice that your body is thanking you through the health benefits of forgiveness. Lower stress levels, a healthier heart, higher pain tolerance, lower blood pressure, and an extended life. So the next time that someone upsets you, remember to forgive if you want to live happily as well as healthy. So here's a forgiveness tool that I wanted to share with you, because literally that is not even scratching the surface of forgiveness of what I teach. But I wanted to just give you a little glimpse into what are the benefits of forgiveness. And then I also wanted to give you a tool. Okay. So who has heard of the Ho'oponopono prayer or meditation? Who's heard of it? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I wanted to share with you this tool because the modern Ho'oponopono is an adaptation of the ancient Hawaiian problem-solving technique that allows subjects working with therapeutic or wellness providers to emotionally and mentally let go of consciousness and subconscious memory. So during this process, you are able to connect to and experience a euphoric awakening, connecting to the divine, to receive inspiration while clearing away limiting beliefs. Ho'oponopono uses a four-phrase mantra to clean out the data of our memories and help you to retake 100% responsibility for everything in your life, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Oh man, that is so important to take responsibility, because when we are in the energy of blaming, we're in the energy of victim mentality, victimhood. And again, this doesn't benefit you. I'm not saying that you weren't a victim, because if you have, no doubt you have, but staying in that victim energy doesn't serve you any purpose. And taking responsibility for your life and knowing like, hey, like when I started to take responsibility, because I blamed, hey, I did it. I blamed my ex. It was his fault that our family was destroyed. It was his fault that I got the STDs. It was his fault, you know, that we lost our house. It was his fault, blah, 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 blah. So I did blame him. But once I started my healing journey and started to realize, like, you have to take responsibility for your entire life, Denise. And I was like, how is that even possible? Because I'm not the one who cheated. I'm not the one who did drugs. I'm not the one X, Y, and Z, right? But it was through that process of me learning how to take responsibility for my entire life and stop shifting the blame on somebody else and knowing that you married him, Denise, so and things like that. It really lightened things up for me and made me see things through a different lens. So you will always experience a reality that is equal to your own energy, right? So we all have an energy field that exists in and around our body. Yet due to the past traumas and emotional baggage, certain unwanted energetic patterns remain with us. The Ho'oponopono technique allows you to completely heal this energetic disturbances. There truly is no such thing as an external reality. All you have to do is heal your inner state, right? That's why I may be viewed as a relationship coach and I help people with relationships, but what ultimately that I'm doing is helping the person, my clients, to heal the relationship that they have with themselves. And that's how it all ripples out. Because once you can heal this, then everything is just a reflection of this. So if you have a healed heart, then you will be reflecting that out, right? You want to attract the wounded anymore. All right, so here is the 4 key phrases. This is where you might want to, if you're listening on the replay, stop, get your pen and paper, and write these down. I'll put them in the chat so you can, if you want to copy and paste. Okay, so I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Okay, that's the 4 phrases. I'll just pop that in there for you. There you go. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Okay, all right. So the next piece to the 4 ways to healing from narcissistic relationships is to love yourself completely, through and through, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. So like I was saying in the beginning of this class, that I shared with you that the first thing that I had to do was love myself. And forgiveness will start to feel lighter and easier for you when you do love yourself completely. Okay. So that's really important for you to start to love yourself. And there's a little trick that I give to my clients when, you know, obviously all my clients have been through toxic relationships to help them overcome the being a magnet for narcissistic men. Because remember, everything begins and ends with you. So if you, I'll use myself as an example. When I met my ex, I didn't love myself. And the thing about self-love is that, you know, back then I thought, well, getting my nails done and taking care of myself and not smoking cigarettes and not drinking and not doing drugs was loving myself. And I didn't know that that is self-care. That's not self-love. So what self-love is on a deeper level is, what conversations are you having with yourself? Are you judging yourself? Are you criticizing yourself? I call it that negative Nancy, that Debbie Downer inside of your head, who loves to like be, you know, nitpick everything. Nothing is good enough. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. You're not this enough. And it's just like that nagging BS voice inside of your head. So what self-love is on a deeper level is gaining control of the negative Nancy and the Debbie Downer. So I wanted to give you a little exercise on how you can do that. So the more that you resist something, that thing will persist. Okay. So the more you're like, oh, you know, inside your head, like, shut up. Oh God, I hate that voice. I hate that part of me. I hate this. I hate that. Well, remember, everything begins and ends with you. So if you're projecting out an energy of I hate that, I hate him, I hate her, I hate that experience, hate, well, then you're going to bring more of that to you. So the key, one of the keys to self-love is for you to quiet that voice. And how do you quiet that voice inside of your head? That negative Nancy and that Debbie Downer. Well, the first thing that I want you to do is recognize that little voice and treat it like the little child that was begging for attention, that want attention, right? Me, right? And so, because to children, any attention is attention. So visualize yourself as the teacher, and you have this classroom, and there's this one annoying kid in your classroom, and let's name him Johnny. And Johnny is just always wanting attention, right? Well, us humans, when we're like, and I know this is mean, but we've all been guilty of it. We're like, we won't give that child the attention because they're always wanting the attention. You can't call on them for every single thing, right? So we call on the other students. We give everybody a chance. We try to be fair. But that voice inside of you is needing that attention from you. So how you go on a deeper level of self-love is you start to quiet that voice by giving that voice the attention, okay? So recognizing when it's showing up. Oh, Denise, you're not good enough to do X, Y, and Z, or you're not this enough, you're not that enough. And to dialogue with that voice inside of you and to even give it a name, right? So like there's all these parts of us. I'm sure you've heard of like the archetypes. There's these different archetypes that we have inside of us. And so I like to name my archetypes, and this is also what I teach my clients, and to give that archetype life, because I don't want to push that part of me under the rug. I don't want to resist that part of me. I want to actually acknowledge her, love her. I want to give her a voice. I want to show her that she matters. And so I name my archetype. So let's say the rebellious teenager. Okay. There's that rebellion in you. And she shows up at wrong times. And so, because we all need all of these parts of us, it's just we need them to show up at the right times. So my rebellious teenager, her name is Joan, like Joan Jett. Remember Joan Jett from the 80s? And so when I see her showing up at the wrong times and she's needing attention, that's when I'll dialogue with her, give her a voice, acknowledge her, tell her she matters, you know, and that's when the voice inside of my head starts to, you know, all the negative Nancy, Debbie Downer stuff starts to subside. It gets quieter and quieter. So that's, you know, the deeper level of self-love is to love all of the parts of you, every single part, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what's going to catapult your self-love to a whole nother level. Okay. So the third piece is truth. Okay. You must come to terms with the truth of your past, including all of the pains and the injustices that happened to you. All right. This can be challenging because you know the phrase, right? The truth hurts, but the truth will also set you free. So this is important for you to do, right? Because this is, again, how you're going to feel lighter is when you set yourself free from the past. And the truth is, I was in a very abusive relationship. The truth is, I was an abused woman. The truth is that my then husband gave me STDs 3 times. The truth is that the dream that I had turned into a nightmare. The truth is, you know, X, Y, and Z, whatever it is for you. And I remember the first time when I had to tell my truth. I remember I was so nervous. I remember my hands were shaking. I was emailing somebody and my hands were shaking, right? And what I mean by truth is expressing it in a healthy way, because when we get angry, we tend to tell the truth more when we're angry, but it's coming out in a angry, violent way. You want to tell your truth in a healthy way. You want to be able to express your truth like this, right? In a healthy way. maybe a dialogue, maybe an email, a mentor, whatever. You want to be able to do that. First, you do it with you. You got to get comfortable with your truth. What is the truth about you in your past? And the other thing about truth that is a gift is that people tell us about ourselves. They see things about us that we don't necessarily see about ourselves. So, like, one example is the first time that I was ever called a drama queen. And I believe I was in my 30s, and I was like, I was so insulted. I was like, I am not a drama queen. That's BS. I'm not a drama queen. But later on, going through my healing journey, I realized, like, people told things to me about me. Of course, I have a drama queen side. Of course, there's that archetype inside of me. Duh. And once I started to embrace that and be like, okay, yeah, I do have this side of me. I can be a little dramatic at times. That's when the drama, boop, in my life, boop, subsided. It's amazing. Okay, so the fourth piece to how all of this, how to heal from narcissistic relationships, is how do you build your confidence to trust so that you can never experience a painful relationship again? Trust being one of the biggest challenges that I hear all the time when healing from these toxic relationships, right? This is what women tell me over and over again. I don't trust myself. I don't trust other people. I have trust issues. I don't even want to go on dates because I'm not trusting. I think I'm going to screw it up again. When they've had these cycles of toxic relationships over and over again. So trust can be a huge factor in healing from narcissistic relationships. So when you can trust yourself, that builds confidence inside of you. All right. And here's the other thing about trust. You don't have to learn how to trust every single person that comes into your world. For example, dating. You don't have to think to yourself, oh gosh, how am I going to know to trust this person or that person? That's an overwhelming feeling. So what I say and what I teach and what is most effective is for you to only learn how to trust yourself. Because once you trust yourself, you trust the process of life, you trust you're in the right place at the right time, even if it doesn't look like that at the time, that builds confidence inside of you, okay? And then when you are dating or, whatever, and you feel like, how do I trust this other person? When you trust yourself, you trust that gut feeling, that voice inside of you, okay? And so you don't have to learn how to trust everybody else. You simply just have to learn how to trust you. And then when the voice inside of you that says, there's a red flag. I'm talking to this guy. He's being a little persistent. There's a red flag there. And trust that intuition, that gut feeling that this is not a good decision to go on a date with this person because he's already showing you red flags. All right? Because what we often do when we've been in these toxic relationships, these narcissistic relationships, we have made excuses for the toxic behavior. And so there was red flags in the beginning. We didn't trust them. We overrode them and thought, oh, well, maybe he's having a bad day, or, oh, well, maybe I misunderstood, or maybe I didn't hear him right, or whatever it was. And we proceeded with the relationship. So there's that people-pleasing piece in there. There's that lack of trust inside of us. There's the lack of confidence inside of us that all led to that. Okay. So I want to explain to you how the way I teach trust and the easiest way, and I want to give you a big aha moment about trust. So trust is simply just a muscle that you have inside of you. Okay. And so think of a baby. Even if you're not a parent, think of a child, a young child. Why do we have to teach children not to go with the creepy guy with the puppy? Why do we teach children not to talk to strangers? Why do we teach children not to jump off of the furniture? Because we're born trusting. This is in us. You have a trust muscle and it's actually very strong. But now let's look at life. Let's look up all of the things that you went through in life that prove to you, you can't trust this. You can't trust that. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's not a wise decision. Okay. So one of the stories that I love to share is about your trust muscle and how it's been diminished. So think of your muscle just like when you go to a gym. You haven't been to the gym in a year. You're still muscles throughout your whole body. Your muscles didn't go away, but they're laying dormant. They're not as strong as they used to be. That's what your trust muscle is doing. So your trust muscle is there. It's just laying dormant. So let me give you a little story. I had an aha moment with a woman years and years ago, and I always use this story because it's profound. And so her and I were on a call, and I don't even remember what I said, but I remember what she said. And she was like, oh my God, I do that to my son. So she has a 4-year-old son, or she did at the time. And he was good in school that week. So she went to, they were at the store and she was like, I want to reward you. You're so good this week. So here's your prize. You get to pick out any lollipop you want for being really good in school today or this week. So here's the box and there's all these different flavors. And at 4 years old, remember, a young child, we know what we want. We don't question. We don't hold grudges. We don't doubt. We know. He picks up the grape lollipop and he's excited, ready to go. Let's go, Mom. I want to get to this lollipop. Mom says, are you sure? Are you sure you want grape? Now, listen, no shame, no blame towards Mom. This was not a malicious intent. This is just an example of how our trust muscles start to diminish at a young age. She says, are you sure? Are you sure you want, you really, look, oh, look at all these flavors. Look, there's strawberry, there's bubblegum. Ooh, there's watermelon. Oh, you love watermelon. Don't you want watermelon? And so the young child stops and he ponders and he thinks, I do love watermelon. Maybe Mom's right. Maybe I need watermelon. Maybe that's my choice. Puts down the grape, chooses the watermelon. Okay, so this is just an example of how the seeds of doubt are planted into our head at a very young age. Now imagine, again, no shame, no blame on Mom. She was doing the best. She coming from her heart. But what happens is it's those little seeds of doubt that are planted in our heads at a very young age, and they grow. Now, the next time you're offered something, whether it be whatever, a vacation, choices, restaurants, you're like, I don't know, because you can't make a decision on your own because of that example, because the seeds of doubt have been planted in your head for a very long time. Does that make sense? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, so, all right. So when you practice building back up your trust muscle, you automatically gain confidence, right? They go together. They literally go together because you know that no matter what the outcome is, it's happening for you. You trust whatever comes your way to learn from it. When you heal from narcissistic relationships, it's like you've come out of a fog, right? And you can see things and people's energy so clearly now. And that's the level of confidence that's waiting for you. So what it feels like to let go of the past so that you can create your ideal future and start to manifest your dream desires quicker than ever. I love talking about manifesting. So when you're done with all that we've talked about here today, you are now in a different level of your life. So you are at a higher level, you could say. And you believe you can have and experience whatever you want because you can. And you know it's waiting for you. Parallel realities. Okay, so let me just give you a little glimpse of, if you don't know what parallel realities is here's this reality that I'm in, but then my dreams for you to, your dreams and the things that you want is waiting for you. How do you know? Because you thought of it, because you have a desire for it, because you want it. There's an energy to that. So parallel realities is where you are now to what you want. But they're exactly the same. It's just how do you get from here and jump to here? When I was in my toxic relationship, when I was planning to leave, all of this that I have now was waiting for me, right? Because this is my reality now. That was my reality then. My reality then was crying myself to sleep every night. My reality then was, I got a plan to get out of here. I got to get away from this psychopath. I got to get out of Florida. This was waiting for me. Ray, my husband, was waiting for me. The love that I received was waiting for me. All of it was there. Okay. That's parallel realities, where you are now and where you're going, but they're the same. They're just this is waiting for you. So my favorite part of what I share is these manifesting stories, because we all manifest, whether we know it or not. And I love sharing how to do this so that you can create your dream life just as my clients do and that I have done. So you can manifest anything that you desire, right? So literally when I was in my toxic relationship, crying myself to sleep every night, thinking, how am I going to get out of here and do this? And how am I going to, X, Y, and Z, to now having it now, having way more than I ever expected to have now. You can do that too. You can manifest anything that you desire in your life. And I'll show you how I created my dream life and how I went from a miserable toxic relationship to crying myself to sleep every night to marrying the man of my dreams. And my clients too. So I was giving a little bit of this to you earlier. Having a smooth divorce from her high confrontational husband, how she got everything that she asked for in a divorce, doubling her income, manifesting the top company that she wanted to work with, manifesting more than what she asked for. And then my favorite, meeting the man of her dreams in the middle of a pandemic. And I did that. In the middle of a pandemic, had my dream wedding on a North Carolina beach with 100 guests. How did I get a bigger venue with stunning ocean views at no extra cost? Gifted. Here you go, Denise. How did I get my dream wedding band that they said was impossible to get during COVID-19? And double the wedding band, double the diamonds, no extra cost. Here you go. Because the universe always wants to gift you, always wants to give you what you want, right? You just got to clear out all of this. You got to love yourself all. You got to forgive everything. You got to be comfortable with your truth. You got to trust that what you want is there for you and that it's yours. It's yours already. Okay? So to help you on an even deeper level, I have a How to Heal Your Heart to Love Again 5-day challenge that I'm hosting starting March 15th, this coming Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So you're going to discover how to feel safe to love again. I'm going to go deeper into these topics for you to get the insights into how I've helped countless women heal their hearts so that they can experience true love. So in this training, you're going to learn how to open up and trust again. Trust, there it is again. Got to talk about it. You got to hear about it. You got to learn that your trust muscle is there. And I'm going to show you how to start building your trust muscle back up again so that you trust yourself. You don't doubt yourself. You stop second guessing yourself. I'm also going to show you how to break the suffering cycle and learn how to love again, and how to release the pain of the past relationships and create the love that you desire. I'm also going to show you how to let go, bounce back, and feel safe and confident to love again. So here's the link for you. I'm going to put it in the chat. It is right here, my loves. You can grab that there. Perfect. So it's empowerthewomanwithin.l pages.co/3-keys-2-having.true love. No, true-love / Okay. All right, my loves, that is what I have for you today. I hope that this was beneficial for you. I hope that you learned a lot here. It's my great pleasure and honor to be here and show you this, all of these healing tools, all of these healing modalities for you to heal from the narcissistic relationships that you've been in so that you never get into a painful relationship again. So I hope you enjoyed this class on the 4 ways to heal from narcissistic relationships. And the next class that I will be teaching is April, hold on, let me go to the top here. April 8th. April 8th will be the next one. And that's going to be how to forgive what you cannot forget. That's going to be the title of that one. How to forgive what you cannot forget. Again, that's why I talk about forgiveness a lot, because it really is the founding keys to your healing. So getting back to what I was talking about in the beginning, our great masters taught us the 3 keys. This is where I got all of this from. The 3 keys to healing is not in any particular order: self-love, forgiveness, and truth. Self-love, forgiveness, and truth. Those are the 3 keys taught to us by our great masters. I added the trust piece because during this process of me teaching and coaching women, when I ask, what is the biggest struggle? What are you struggling with? What is it that's holding you back? It's trust. They don't trust themselves. So I added the trust piece. So that's why it's really the 4 keys. It's the 4 keys. All right, my loves, have an amazing weekend. I love you. Thank you for showing up and investing this time in you. I'll see you April 8th. And if you're listening to the replay, all goes for you too. Bye.